Welcome to the Locked In Baseball Podcast. I'm William Locke. He is Luis Barranco. It is our Pittsburgh Pirates 2026 team preview episode. There's a lot of quiet optimism around this team this year. Luis, how you feeling this Sunday morning about the Pirates?
Quiet optimism. I'm the complete opposite. I think there's more than quiet optimism. I think it's a high optimism with this team this season. As you guys may have listened to the prior team previews, we've talked about the St. Louis, and we've kind of talked about a little bit of the Pittsburgh offseason, how, yes, it was hard to absorb as a fan as you kept getting floated around in all these free agent rumors and not ending up being the team winning out these bids. But they've quietly made a respectable roster, which I think as a Pittsburgh Pirates fan, you would be very excited to hear in comparison to teams prior. You have pretty much one of the best pitcher in all of Major League Baseball, if you ask me, in Paul Skenes. And then you have one of the hottest young prospects coming up, probably the biggest since Mike Trout, with Konnor Griffin coming up soon this season. So there's a lot of optimism with this team in Pittsburgh. You can make an argument that this team could have a top 10, top 8 rotation by the end of the season. And their lineup isn't just guys that are just free outs. Let's go through it. At first, they're going to have Spencer Horwitz. Second, Brandon Lowe, who they acquired from Tampa via trade this offseason. Brian Reynolds out in left. Ryan O'Hearn, who they signed as a free agent, who had a really nice year in Baltimore and San Diego. He's will be in the right field. Marcell Ozuna will be DHing, which I'll talk more about that later. Oneil Cruz in center, Nick Gonzalez shortstop, Jared Triola at third, and Joey Bart catching. They have Henry Davis also as a catcher with their starting pitching. They have Paul Skenes, Mitch Keller, Braxton Ashcraft, Bubba Chandler, and the free agent signing from Detroit, Jose Urquidy. So all in all, I think this team's pretty solid. In comparison to how they were last year, I think this team they finished 71-91. I think this team can easily push for more than that, and I expect it to happen fairly easily. I just feel this team's a better team in comparison. I feel that the pitching is very good. They have a lot of guys, a lot of talent in the farm. Jared Jones, who came up 2 years ago, was a great pitcher. Is going to be back at some point this season, and I just feel like this team has a lot of growth this year with this iteration of this team.
Iteration, yeah. No, there. Like I said at the top, there's a lot of reason to be optimistic about the Pirates this year. You went through the offseason acquisitions. I think number one, outside of course of Paul Skenes, the top pitcher, 1-2 pitcher, whatever you want to call it in the major leagues, is of course their top prospect, Konnor Griffin. He's the number one prospect in all of baseball, and like a pretty wide margin. All outlets are saying between Konnor Griffin and Kevin McGonigal, who's kind of the consensus number 2 guy. Keith Law has them ranked as the number 4 overall farm system. And he spoke very highly of Keith Law. He said, quote, "I think he's the most exciting prospect we've had in the minors since Mike Trout. And I think he's going to end up one of the best players in baseball once he gets established." He's only 19 years old, Griffin. He would be the first Pirates teenager since 1998, Aramis Ramirez. He was incredible last season. /333, 415, 527 with 21 home runs and 65 stolen bases in his first pro season. I think he should be on the opening day roster. I think if you're the Pirates, as long as he shows some competency in spring training and doesn't just totally crap the bed, I think he should be on this roster. And then all of a sudden, I was looking through the lineup, getting ready for this episode. I'm like, I feel okay about this lineup with the addition of Ozuna, with the addition of O'Hearn. Hopefully Oneil Cruz can show some more effort this season and finally put it all together. Brandon Lowe, a good power bat as an addition. Jake Magnum, again, a good guy as a bench piece, could rotate in as a platoon guy in the outfield. They also got the password from the Red Sox. They were very active this winter. Payroll is up. Last season, it was one of the lowest in the major leagues at $87 million. They're up to $105 million. They said they were going to spend this offseason. They missed out on Schwarber, who they were supposedly in on. They missed out on Naylor, who they were supposedly in on. But they signed some guys, and man, there is some juice with this team this year. Finally,
They do got. I mean, Paul. Do you need juice when you got Paul Skenes, man? Like, let's just be honest. I think Paul Skenes is a box office guy. I mean, whenever you see Paul Skenes on the lineup card, I think it's must see TV. And I want MLB fans to start taking notice of the Pittsburgh Pirates because I do feel like they finally have a team around him that could push if everything goes right for a wild card. I would like to take some type of caution with some of these signings. For example, Marcell Ozuna, he's a name because he's been in the league for so long and he's been such a great player throughout his tenure with the Cardinals and the Marlins, to name it, and the Braves. I think he is a great player, but I do feel like that dip is coming with Marcell Ozuna. And I want to take some statistics that I saw via Twitter, via Alex Stumpf and Nugget Chef. In 2024, Marcell Ozuna hit 39 home runs with a 925 OPS and a 154 WRC plus. Last season, he hit 21 homers with a 756 OPS and a 114 WRC plus. I do understand that the Braves have struggled, but you're seeing a 40-point drop in WRC plus and a near 200-point drop in OPS, and close to 20 homers and dropping from one year to another. In addition to that, Alex Stumpf said that Ozuna's bat speed dropped 1.1 mile an hour. If you're one of these bat speed gurus on Savant and you want to really nail that down, and his slugging has dropped so far. So again, look. The Ozuna signing, I do understand why you do it. You got to feel the holes out, but just tail the caution. You're not getting Marcell Ozuna from a couple seasons past where he was all-star power bat. Not the same guy.
Yeah, I mean he did deal with some injury last year. That hip injury was an issue throughout the whole season. So hopefully he's healthy again this year. But to your point, at some point, how old he's 35, like he is going to fall off eventually. He is only the DH, which his signing means that Andrew McCutchen is not going to come back this season and play one more season and finish off his career with the Pittsburgh Pirates, unless they figure something out, which I don't see a place for him on this roster now. Kind of an awkward ending between those two.
They could. I do feel like they'll do right by him because I feel like there'll be pressure. But I'm gonna focus on this team now. They only lost Tommy Pham, Andrew McCutchen, Colin Holderman, Marco Gonzalez, and Dauri Moreta. I'm just gonna be honest with the signings and trades they've done. I just think this team is way better than what a lot of people think. And when you look at how the NL Central is, it's so tight where I don't want to say it's comparable to the AL Central and how you can just have a good play 500 ball and play one good month and congratulations, you're a division champ, because I do feel like it's a little better. But I do feel like this division is quite open in the sense that, it's not as competitive as people think. And I don't think Pittsburgh will be cellar dwellers. I think they'll be in the mix at points in the season to be in the top two, pushing for a wild card with how the team is. I mean, if you have Paul Skenes every fifth day, that's already a guaranteed, almost near guaranteed start. I think right now, if people were to, if you were to ask baseball fans, if you had one pitcher to pitch for your life and they had to win you a game between life and death, I think a lot of people would pick Paul Skenes.
Yeah, Skenes and Skubal. I think it would be down to those two.
So
they were sixth in starting pitching ERA last season as a unit. Obviously, a lot of that was buoyed by Paul Skenes, but the rest of the rotation had to show up. I also think quietly, I know they traded away David Bednar at the deadline last year, but Dennis Santana was one of the best setup guys in all of baseball last year. A lot of people thought they should have traded him at the deadline. They didn't. They held on to him. He should be the closer this year, and I think he's going to be a pretty solid closer for them. You also added Gregory Soto in free agency, who could be okay. I think the addition of Mason Montgomery coming over from the Rays in that trade, I think he actually could be pretty decent. And Justin Lawrence, I've always been a fan of Justin Lawrence. He was a waiver claim that got him from the Rockies, Colorado. Don't look at his numbers because it's Colorado. You can't really, look at a starting pitcher or any pitcher's numbers from Colorado and put much weight into it. So I like his underlying metrics, and I just think this could be a pretty solid team. This could be a pretty solid team with Jared Jones coming back too at some point this season. We saw how good he was in 2024, his rookie campaign. They're definitely better than the Cardinals. I think we can both agree on that. And then you'll have the conversation with the Reds. the Reds have a lot of pitching depth. I think it could go either way. I could see the Pirates having a season like the Reds did last season, going 83-79 and making the playoffs. I don't think they're better than the Cubs. I mean, I would be shocked if they finish over the Cubs and win the division. And the Brewers, who knows what you get from a year-to-year basis from them. They trade everything away and somehow are still good, so they're almost impossible to project. But this is definitely not a basement dweller team anymore.
They also got the password, I think, too, who's a top prospect in the Boston system.
Yeah, he made his debut last year. I believe it was in Yankee Stadium. Another thing I do want to mention is, unfortunately, Bill Mazeroski passed away Friday at age 89. I posted a video to our socials, kind of a tribute, but one of the best defensive second basemen of all time, 8 Gold Gloves, led the league in assists 9 times from second base. And, it's one of the few players in the Hall of Fame specifically for his defense. Obviously, he hit the most famous home run in World Series history, the Game 7 winner against the Yankees in 1960, walk-off home run, Forbes Field. They still celebrate it every single year out there, play the radio. That's kind of where Pirates fans are. Like they haven't had much to celebrate in terms of on-the-field success recently, so they still celebrate that 1960 home run, as they should. I mean, legendary home run. But yeah, the fans go out there to the wall that's still standing and listen to the radio broadcast to that home run every single year. But he was beloved, Hall of Famer, franchise favorite, one of the best Pirates of all time. I do think there's going to be some, similar to like the Euchre magic that the Brewers had last year, I do think there's going to be some let's do this thing for Maz energy with this Pirates team this year, which could help them out. Good, like, kind of coming together thing for the Pirates.
Look, man. Like I said, you're making some really valid points. But like I said, I think this team could be the second best team in the Central easily.
Okay,
better than the Brewers. I'm not crazy to think because I mean the Brewers. What do they have pitching wise?
I feel like we say that every year. It's Woodruff, of course, and Jacob Misiorowski, who I feel like Jacob Misiorowski is still a TBD. I'm not completely sold on him, but he is good.
Yes,
he's not as good as Paul Skenes.
So, what would you take? Paul Skenes, Mitch Keller, and Bubba Chandler, or Woodruff, Misiorowski, and whatever they have thrown out in Milwaukee as a third?
Quinn Priester, Chad Patrick.
Yeah,
I think if you throw in Jared Jones into the mix, let's just say when he comes back healthy, he might be on it. Probably will be on in some type of innings limit this year. I'm probably going with Pittsburgh though. Paul Skenes being as good as a pitcher as he is, you cannot underestimate like just how much of a difference that makes on this team. I mean, we've seen it with Skubal. He's essentially carried them to 2 straight playoff appearances because it's not like they've had a good lineup.
That's what I'm saying. I think Pittsburgh will shock some people, and I think Pittsburgh could be. And I'll go out on a limb and say I think they could be wild card 1 or 2 if one of those East teams in the NL just doesn't show up. Maybe like a Philadelphia or the Mets just go left again.
And I do think there's a world in which Philly is just the most disappointing team in baseball this year. I don't want to step on the preview too much.
I could see also Atlanta being also disappointing. I could see Pittsburgh being better than Atlanta. I just think there's so much optimism for this year that Pirates fans aren't looking bad because of the whole ownership of them not spending money and whatnot. But I think this team's very good.
I think it is fair, though, for Pirates fans to have some trepidation about this team this year, and I feel them there. But when you break down the teams in the National League that like heading into the season, you just kind of assume they're going to be playoff teams like Braves, Mets, Phillies, Brewers, Cubs, Dodgers are kind of the main ones that we're hearing. 1 or 2 of them are not going to make the playoffs this year. Like last season, no one had the Blue Jays as a playoff team, and they were inches away from winning the freaking World Series. I mean, all of us picked the Blue Jays to finish last in the East last season. So Orioles were another team that people thought were going to be really good last season, and they stunk for their standards. So there is a chance for the Pirates to make the playoffs. Like, don't just because of preseason projections, that those mean nothing. It's about what you do on the field on a day in and day out basis. And I don't want to underestimate Paul Skenes' leadership skills. He is a freaking work animal. Like, he is just a dog. And he had some quote. He was talking about the WBC and why pitchers haven't participated in it before. And I don't have the exact quote on me, but he basically said like, it's a bad mentality to have to not pitch in the WBC because you want to keep yourself fresh for the major league regular season. So I just think he's got that kind of like elite war, like the kind of mindset you want your franchise guy to have, kind of like that crazy like work ethic type of vibe. And I just think he's really good, and he's very good chance of winning a back-to-back Cy Young and some back-to-back Cy Youngs and helping carry this team to the playoffs. So that's the next step for this team heading into the offseason. All the talk was like, are they going to trade Skenes? And then the Pirates came out and said, we're going to spend money now. And they did. They didn't necessarily get Schwarber or whatever, but they're trying. And I do think the Skenes trade talks are going to die down. Even if they're not that good at the deadline, I still don't think they're going to trade him. I think that would be dumb.
I don't think there's anywhere possible. There's not a Skenes trade. A possible Skenes trade doesn't exist. He's generational. And going back to your point about Skenes being a psycho, I mean, we've seen Livy Dunn said like he hates when they go on vacation because he still works out on vacation, like he didn't take a day off.
Yeah, I mean, he's got 4 more seasons as a Pirate for sure right now. I don't think there's any world in which they trade him before this lockout. I think you want some certainty there. Figure out the new CBA. If they stink next year at the deadline, maybe it's more of a conversation.
I don't think it's a conversation because I think number one, I don't think a Paul Skenes trade exists if he's healthy with no like red flags and like health flags, if you know what I mean. And two, I don't think you want to be known as a team that traded away Paul Skenes.
If they traded him next year, it would be with 2.5 years of control.
But you would still be the team that traded away Paul Skenes.
The Nationals traded Juan Soto. The Nationals.
But Juan Soto and Paul Skenes are two different players. Yes, Juan Soto is good and everything, but I think right now you can make an argument that Paul Skenes is on a Cooperstown trajectory. Juan Soto is, yeah, but I think it's I think it's more of a lock that Paul Skenes is a Cooperstown lock.
Oh, Juan Soto is a Cooperstown lock already. Not already, but he's a Hall of Famer.
I think Paul Skenes is more of a lock.
He could go down as one of the best pitchers ever.
Because Juan Soto can just be garbage these next couple of seasons with the money. And just
you're questioning the drive.
I don't know. It's the family, man. You know, he likes the box seats and the family box seats and getting into the clubhouse thing. I don't know. Paul Skenes right now already has 1 Cy Young, and you could have made an argument that last year he could have had 1, 2, but due to the sample size, it was small.
Who's his biggest contender for the National League Cy Young this year?
Yeah, Yamamoto. But even then, I don't think Yamamoto is going to have enough. The thing is, between Skenes and Yamamoto is like the Pirates need Skenes. Yeah, the Pirates need Skenes, and that's what I would like to implore voters. I mean, Paul Skenes as an MVP this year is something that we really, really have to take a look on because I mean, the Dodgers don't need Ohtani. Like, yes, Ohtani is great and he does video game numbers, and this is going to sound really, really controversial and really crazy from my part, but they don't need Ohtani. They would still win 90 games easily with that roster. Paul Skenes, the Pirates need Paul Skenes to win. For the 30 starts that he gets a year, like those are already, let's call it 80% of those wins. So those are already 20 wins into the column. If that's me being optimistic, but he's putting you in a position to win. And when you look at it, in baseball, what is the number one thing? How can you control the baseball game? What's the most way you can control a baseball game? That's pitching. Mm-hmm. If you can stop the other team from scoring, I think that gives you a good chance. As a hitter, you can only produce runs, but that still isn't enough. So I totally feel Paul Skenes should be in the forefront of the MVP conversation because he is the most valuable player and he plays up to that level.
It brings up the interesting conversation, and it's something I've been thinking about a lot over the offseason of like, what does someone else have to do for Ohtani not to win MVP in the National League? Because now that he's pitching and hitting, like 2024 would have been the opportunity when he wasn't pitching, but he just went nuclear at the plate, 50-50 season. You couldn't not give it to him. What has to happen for him not to win this award? As long as he's pitching and hitting, he's gonna win. But I see the point on Skenes for sure.
He has the protection. He's on a loaded roster.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
I agree with the point that they don't need him to win the Worlds to make the playoffs or whatever. Like,
And they don't need
definitely
him to
still
win
a
the
90
division.
win. And
They don't
to your
need
point,
him.
yeah, the division's not that great. And I agree on Yamamoto being the biggest contender for Cy Young. The thing with Yamamoto is if he has like a niggling lat injury, let's say a minor back thing or whatever, like the Dodgers are going to slow play him because they don't need him for the regular season. They just need him for October. If Skenes gets a little back thing, he's going to try to pitch through it because they need him to try to make the playoffs. Last season, we saw him. They've limited him in the first 2 seasons, innings and stuff, but they've been so bad. Now that they actually have, I think it's fair to say they have playoff aspirations this season. I think we'll see him pitch more. Like, I can pull up his numbers.
Well, let's just
in terms of innings pitched.
Let's just look at the other thing. Let's look at who would be your top 5 in the NL right now for Cy Young. You would probably put Yamamoto up there. That's 1.
Skenes.
Skenes 2, but like we already said those 2. 3, you could probably put Logan Webb, which that's kind of interesting with Logan Webb because I do feel like he could be contender, but I don't know if he's up to that caliber of those guys. Like, yes, he is a 1A pitcher, but I don't know if he's the 1 AA, like AAA. Like, he's like that guy.
For me, Webb always has felt like a guy that is a really good number 1 starter, and he's going to give you 200+ innings. He's a workhorse, but I don't think he's ever going to win a Cy Young. I don't think he's that level. I'd love to see him prove it wrong, but I don't think he's a Cy Young guy.
Plus, he has the this PED concern that he had. Not PEDs, but he got suspended when he was in the minor leagues.
I think you'd have to put Christopher Sanchez from Philly in that conversation. Zach Wheeler would be in that conversation, but I just don't know what we're going to see from him anymore with that weird injury he had.
But again, it's Christopher. I think, like, if you look at NL pitchers, and I don't want to go too deep into this because this is the Pirates level. When you look at the level of the NL pitching, there's only one guy that could in that category, at that top category.
Yamamoto.
Skenes. And then the Yamamoto's like close, but not there. And then there's everybody else with those ones.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, looking at the odds, Chris Sale, Hunter Green, Blake Snell, Ohtani, Strider, but it's a name that, he's struggled since coming back from injury.
The Braves, right now, the Braves have more injuries than wins.
Well, yeah, they're right. Nolan McLean.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just interesting to see. Well, William, what's the FanDuel, or DraftKings? What are we using? DraftKings?
Yeah, DraftKings. It was 75.5 when I made the document. It's all the way up to 78.5 on the total this year.
I'm going to take the over. I think they're an 81-81 team this season.
It's a hesitant over for me. I don't feel confident in the pick because it's the Pirates, but I want them to finally prove me wrong. I want to see some Bucktober baseball this year. I think the magic of Maz magic is going to be there. Skenes is going for his 2nd straight Cy Young. Konnor Griffin is going for Rookie of the Year. That's one thing, man. Like, if Konnor Griffin comes up and is like that dude, that just totally changes the ceiling for this team, in my opinion, and the franchise. Skenes, Griffin, 2 young stars. We could be looking at Ohtani and Trout all over again.
Well, I think Skenes is MVP. I think Skenes can be the MVP. I think we're really under. There's got to be voter fatigue this year. You have to think about it.
I don't know if there's going to be voter fatigue with Ohtani. I just feel like people are so aware of like this just generational great that we're seeing. Like, it's not like LeBron, because LeBron was so good, but LeBron wasn't necessarily doing anything that we have never seen before on a basketball floor. Like, Ohtani is pitching and hitting at a high level. It's so unique.
But Skenes is generational. He's that good. It's like, how do you hit off of him? Like, you look at the overlays, like,
I don't know how you hit off him. I don't know.
You just have to guess. It's playing a guessing game and hope like he throws fastball and be like, okay, try to time the fastball, sit fastball, and pray.
Your Rookie of the Year favorites in the National League: Connor Griffin, JJ Weatherholt, and Nolan McLean. If Connor Griffin is as advertised, he's winning this thing.
I don't want to spoil my pick, but I think I have my pick.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to spoil my pick either. We'll do those later.
So
this was a fun one. This was the first, I think, team that we've done that's like, okay, there's some juice with this team.
They could be. This team could be the trendy. They're like, there's other teams that could be the trendy, like, sleeper surprise team. I think not a lot of people are talking about this team, and I think like this is the team we need to like keep an eye on. Everybody wants to pick on another team we'll talk about this week, but and later on. But I think this might be the team that surprises everybody.
I think this is one of my .TV teams this year as well. I'm going to be keeping close tabs on the Pirates. Also, S-tier stadium. Probably the prettiest stadium I've been to. This one in San Francisco. So hopefully there'll be some good baseball in that stadium this year. Anything else on the Pirates before we get out of here today?
We're good, man.
All right, we're good. Hope you guys enjoyed. We're both on the over for the Pittsburgh Pirates, over the 78.5. Skenes, Cy Young, Konnor Griffin, potentially the Rookie of the Year. We're very optimistic on this team. Hopefully they don't let us down. Thank you guys for listening. We'll be back tomorrow with the A's, I believe it is. Until then, catch you guys next time. Peace out.